Hot Yoga problems. Ow! I got them. Got them today. Coming to you direct from the OBX. Yes, it's time for a special episode of Hot Yoga Problems. OBX Hot Yoga Studio down here in Nags Head. About a 15 to 20 minute drive from my home base of Duck, North Kakalaki. I love it down here. I'm having a great time, enjoying the beautiful weather. And I just got destroyed, as always, by the OBX Hot Yoga Studio. It crushes you, dude. They don't play games. I've said this before. I'll say it again. It's the finest hot yoga studio in the land, without hesitation. And I've been to many a studio, and I'm telling you what, they just don't play games. They crank the heat. They crank it. It's got to be at least 130 in there. Okay, maybe not. Maybe like 104, 103, 105, 106? 106.7 The Fan! That's a radio station! No. Probably like it's a hot yoga temperature. Dude, there's the money crossover right there. If you run a hot yoga studio and you're running it in a certain degree level, you look at the spectrum of the FM radio waves, and you come up with the partner that you want to be with. It might be like 97.9, the great 98. That was a big station back in the day in WV, man. Great 98, the Duggar. Are you kidding? This guy crushed. You find the optimal band. What is it called? I don't even know what the number is called. The spectrum number, the call letters, or what? Not the letters, the numbers, boy, numbers. You find the best optimal number for your temperature, and then you reach out and, hey man, can I be the official hot yoga studio of your radio station? And anytime you introduce the numbers, you got to go 106.5 The Fan, or whatever, like sponsored by OBX Hot Yoga. Dude, I'm a marketing genius, I swear. Every time I turn on the camera, I come up with something better. I'm just giving it away. I give away all this free information to the world for someone pioneering and entrepreneurial to act upon, to seize the opportunities. It's all there for the taking, I'm telling you. So, my tens of loyal listeners, I'm so grateful for you, my friends and family and followers and fans, the 4 Fs. I'm so grateful that you're tuning in again for another episode of the Hot Yoga Action. And you might notice something if you're watching on YouTube, the YouTube version of this show. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I can't quite slice and dice the metrics. I get a lot of podcast listeners. I get a lot of video podcast listeners, watchers, purveyors. I don't know if there's much crossover. I'm not sure if the experience is better on one or the other platform. But anyway, if you are watching on the YouTubes, and you might notice something if you have a real keen eye. Although it's hard to tell, quite frankly. But yes, I did upgrade from my 2014 Subaru Impreza to a 2023 Toyota Corolla Cross. Not just a regular Corolla, baby. It's a Corolla Cross. The Cross is where it's at. All due respect to the regular Corolla holders. If you ain't got the Cross, you ain't got shit. I'm just kidding. This was very, very, what's the word? Opportunistic? Not quite. It's more like necessary. And I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you. I have this mentality, and it could be a little old, it could be OG, old school, it could be outdated, it could be time to innovate, it could be time to change my perspective. You know, you don't want to get stuck in your ways, but I have a very, very old-fashioned, traditional sense of car ownership, broadly speaking. And it could be summed up, and again, this is not new, I've mentioned it on the program, but I have a little time here. This commute is not like going from Core Power to home. It's not 10 minutes, it's like 20 minutes. With traffic, maybe 30. So we're going to be riffing for a little bit here. Stay with me. You've heard it before. If a car gets you from point A to point B, that's the function, that's the purpose. That is, to me, the dominant value of this investment. So on that margin, it doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter how old it is. All that matters is it paid for? Does it get you where you need to go reliably? Now, once you start to unpack this a little bit, you start to realize why one, even with that perspective, with a frugal mindset, still might feel compelled to trade in a 2014 Subaru Impreza with, it only had 69,000 miles. 69, dude! 69,000 miles! That thing was like 12 years old. It only had 69,000 miles because I just drive back and forth to work. I live within a mile. I don't drive a lot. Maybe on these road trips to the OBX or occasionally back to WV. I'm not racking up the miles. So that's another reason why I do not need to overinvest in a really fancy, nice car. Because the other purposes of cars, I don't particularly care for. Like, I need comfort and distraction. I need entertainment. I need that. That's like the bells and whistles of the car itself that might benefit you, the driver, to make that the transit bearable. That's never been my thing. But I guess if I was on the road a lot, if I had to drive a lot, if my commute was like an hour each way and I was going 5 days a week and I was zipping up and down the East Coast to go tour or something, I mean, yeah, I could see investing in a car that has a little bit more, what's the word, accessories. But that's not my jam. That's not my need. So therefore, I didn't chase that. I never have. I never will. Most likely. Because even if I was in that scenario, I just like being hardcore. I can be fine, dude. The cars, even the cars of the mid 2010s or whatever, they're very upscale. They do everything for you. So I'm pretty low maintenance on that front. The other purpose of a car, which I totally disrespect. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I have no need for it. The world seems to operate off it, so I'm an outlier. Maybe some of you are in the same space, but I do not give a rat's ass what you think about me for the type of car that I drive. I cast no judgments upon others for what they're driving around. If you want to purvey and like project upon me because you think I'm driving a hunk of junk, and that has something to do with my intellect or reputation or abilities or worth as a human being, that's on you. That's on you, son. And you can roll it up and smoke it. I don't care. I don't need it. I mean, that's how I feel about people with that attitude. I gotta drive a nice looking car to signal to the world the signaling effect of a very fancy vehicle. So many people are into that game, dude. And I don't understand it. I have no time for that mentality in my life. I try to cut those people out. If you're one of them and you're a friend of mine, I don't know. Maybe you're hiding it from me because I definitely have standards. On the other hand, I respect all, and it's like, you know, I probably spend my money in some ways very stupidly at times. Am I doing things sometimes to signal to others? Not usually through my spending. Maybe through my communication. Maybe there's like a narcissistic element to this whole thing. Raff's brain. Who cares about Raff's brain? What's Raff's brain got to do with me? So I guess you could judge me on that. I can judge you for buying an overpriced car because you want to impress your neighbors. Whatever. Therefore, I kind of take a step back. I don't judge anybody. I don't care. I just want you to know I traded my car in. And I'm very proud of something. because I'm not good at this, dude. I don't like cars beyond the functionality. I definitely don't like going to car dealers. I just feel like they're always coming to get you. I don't feel like they're on your side. There's asymmetric information. They're looking to get a leg up, and they're always very nice and friendly, and I get it. It's sales, baby. It's a sales business. But I know they're trying to find my weakness. And my weakness is I don't negotiate well. I just want honesty in my life. I don't want to have to trick you into telling me something. But I did. Here's the thing. I played a little trick on the dealer. I did it, and I'm very proud of myself. It's not really a trick. A trick implies nefarious, ill intention. No. This was more like a strategy. And if you're out there to buy a new car, or a used car in this case, I think this is a really good strategy. So it worked for me. Let me pass it along to the world. By the way, it's not like it's groundbreaking. You could probably find this out anywhere. Anyway, so historically, the past couple cars I've bought, I think I've gotten at CarMax. CarMax! National chain of used cars all over the country. I looked them up. They just didn't have anything in my price range or what I wanted. It was like a little bit of disappointment that I couldn't go back to CarMax. But then I realized you can sell your car to CarMax for cash. Sell it for cash. Don't make an offer on the dang internet, dude. It's like you just pump in a little bit of information about your ride. How many miles? What's the make, model, year? What's the condition? And then they'll make you an offer that's good for a week. Like CarMax is in the business. They don't play games. They're trying to offload and onboard. That's what they do. That's their job. That's their what's the word? It's a French term, raison d'être or something, like reason for existence or whatever. Raison d'existence. Why do I even care? Why am I saying French? I don't know. I'm babbling here. The point I'm trying to make is, here's the strategy that you should deploy next time you're in the market for a car. Before you go to the dealer, first of all, you got to do all your research online, my friends. It's all there. The information is ready for the taking. You do not need to go in cold. You got to be prepared, man. You got to have a plan. Please. So, I found the car that intrigued me, both on the condition and the low mileage, and the reliability, the sort of reputation of the Toyota Corolla Cross. Yeah, it was pretty good. I looked it up. I did some homework. Very reliable, very credible. Retains value. Could go a couple 100,000 miles. I dig it. So I'm positively disposed. And it happened to be on the market. I didn't like the color. I'm not a fan of the color white on cars, but it's growing on me. I've only had it for a few days. It's growing on me slowly, like a cancerous tumor. Hopefully it's benign, and it just augments my ability to create value in the world. I don't know. Probably not. Is it possible for a cancerous tumor to be benign, or are all cancers bad? I don't know. Anyway, let's not even go with those analogies. That should not be something you even talk about in this context. So back it up. Pretend you didn't hear any of that. Don't joke about that, the C word. It's growing on me, this white exterior, I guess. Not really. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not happy. But anyway, it was good enough of a deal, and it had low miles, and it was still fairly new, a couple years old. I was like, this could be the one. Now, why was I trading in my Subaru Impreza, you ask? Because I love that car. I mean, it got me around. It met all the requirements. Point A to point B. It was owned. I had title. I had ownership. Here's the thing, folks. The AC was starting to kick. And, dude, you can't drive around the D.C. area in the summer without the AC, man. Even like a couple miles, you'll be sweating nuts. So I was like, okay, that's one factor. I could get it fixed up for a couple grand. Is that worth it? At a certain point, you do start to make those questions. Like, if I'm going to spend money to fix this car up, does it make sense to do that, or to like throw down and just like get something new altogether? That was the calculus part of it. The other thing was, during the snowpocalypse or whatever, the snowcrete, I happened to park on a big slab of snowcrete outside my front house there. And when I was backing up, it ripped off the bumper in a way. Not like a wholesale rip, but it messed it up. There was a significant cosmetic defect. Get that fixed on a used car, another couple G. So now I'm talking like 3 to 5 G to maintain a car that's like 12, 13 years old, 69,000 miles. Was it worth it? That was what I was facing. That was the predicament. And to be quite honest with you, even further, I was starting to sense that during the drives, it was just a little bit sluggish. Something was going on with the transmission. You don't want to lose a transmission. You lose a transmission, that's another 5G. So I was like, okay, why don't I try to offload this before it completely falls apart, get a little bit of value, and find something new. But not new to me. Definitely always get a used car, bro. That old saying, like, it diminishes 50% the moment you drive it off the lot. So I don't want to bear that cost. I usually let some other sucker bear that cost. I get a car. I like to get them 1 to 2 years in, gently used, under 20,000 miles ideally, definitely under 30, and I'm good to go. So take all that into account. The downside to all this, what really upsets me with the world today, this is one thing that I cannot get off my mind. It's problematic, traumatizing, disappointing, confusing, and it could just, if I really start to dwell on it, it can bring me down for days. It's the the rapidly and like decreasing supply of standard manual transmissions, that you can't find them. The manufacturers barely even make them anymore. It's so upsetting. And I was looking for about a week to find any manual transmission in the DC area. Virginia, DC, freaking Delaware, Maryland, any West Virginia. Can you please show me a low mileage, relatively new, low cost, manual transmission hatchback? I like the wagons. I don't like sedans. Guess what? There's no supply of these types of cars on the market anymore. It's discouraging. It's disappointing. It's upsetting to the core of my identity is in disarray, man. What happened to the manual transmission? This is the way. This is what everyone needs to learn. It's a thing that you need to know in life. I'm so excited that my niece, she's 17 years old, she drives a stick. The beautiful part about that, she's getting ready to go to college, and one of the fears of any parent sending a kid to college is like with a car on their freshman year. It's like, oh, they're going to let their friends drive with the car, and they're going to get in a wreck, and they're going to get DUI, and blah, 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 blah. Guess what? No kids can drive stick. So no one's going to be taking her car off campus. Smart move, parents, right there. You want your kids to be safe and secure, you get them a standard. Also, it distracts them in a good way. You have to be engaged in the driving process. You can't just put it on cruise control and let the robots take over, you know? You have to be aware of your surroundings. You have to upshift, downshift. But now with the automatic, you don't have any of that. It's just one little nudge towards lulling you into a false sense of security when death and destruction is all around you, man. Multi-ton hunks of metal flying in every direction, and you've got to pay attention. You've got to be engaged and awake. And I feel like having a manual transmission, a stick, does greatly enhance my awareness, my acuity, my cat-like speed and reflexes get operationalized to the maximum extent. But the bottom line is I couldn't find it, so I traded it in. It was the tactic. I got all spun up here about the stick. I forgot to tell you my tactic, and I want to impress upon. This has been a really quick ride home. I don't have much more to go, so I want to impress upon you this as we wrap up this episode of Raff's Brain Hot Yoga Problems. Listen to me right now. If you're on the market for a car ever, you go to CarMax, you enter in some data about your vehicle,
Police reported ahead.
And then you print out the offer that CarMax gives you. Gotta make sure a bike's not. This is the dangerous part when you're turning. Make sure no biker is coming, no biker is coming, no biker is coming. I'm safe, I'm secure. That was a very well executed turn. All right, So you print out the offer. The offer for me was like 7.5K. That's not bad at all, right? Given the circumstances. I take it in. I had an appointment with the used car dealer down the street from where I live. I called him up. I said, hey, I want to come in. This is the car I saw online. I want to check it out. I want to get a little test drive, and I'll be trading in a vehicle. Okay, let's set that up. Boom. Next day, roll in. They come back. Let's see what the numbers say here. While I was on the test drive, they were checking out my car, kicking the tires, and going to come up with the trade-in value. Guess what their trade-in offer was initially? What do you think? I had CarMax in my back pocket, folded up, printed out. I'm ready to just drop it on this dude. He comes in, well, we're going to do this, that, and your car's it's got a couple issues here and there. Here's what we're thinking. I'll give you like $4,400. I'm like, in my body and soul, I'm like, you cheese ball, what do you think I am? Who do you think you're dealing with? Who do you think you're dealing with? Just some regular schmuck? That would have been me like 5 years ago, just walking in and taking what they give you. But no, you got to negotiate. You got to be prepared and informed. So I said, well, that's interesting. Yeah, okay, this is all very nice. I like the numbers here. I'm trying to get this thing under $20,000. That's because that's the ballpark of what I'd like to do. And funny, because I had this nice move where I pulled the CarMax paper out of my back pocket. Hey, guess what? Here's an offer I got. It's good for a week from CarMax. And it's about twice as much as you're all in. So I'm wondering, the couple ways we could roll with this. You could maybe come up significantly in your trade-in value of my car. Or I could just pay for your car, take my car to CarMax, and get the cash. But that seems like an unnecessary, friction. So if you just get close to the CarMax offer, that would make it worth my time. I think it'd make it worth your time. And then we're good to go. And that triggered a whole chain of command situation. That triggered like several people in that dealership. They knew, they're like, ding, 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 bells and alarms go off. We got an informed buyer. I felt so proud of myself. The guy's like, I got to go talk to my manager. And then we reworked the numbers. And the good news is I didn't take it on the spot. I said, I'll come back. Let me think about it. I think I just want to go up a little bit more in my value. Maybe I'll take the car over and cash it in. Well, this car could sell. It's a hot commodity. You don't want to give it up. Hey, man, there are plenty of used cars. At the end of the day, there's no leverage that any used car salesman ever should have over you as a consumer. Like, they're going to go, oh, this is going to be popular. Can't hold it for you. Someone else is going to take it. I got someone else coming in to test drive it today. Okay. Have at it. There's 1,000 fishes in the sea, bro. You don't need that. Don't get suckered in by that. Oh, yeah, it's a hot commodity, whatever. So they tried to, and then this is the funniest thing. This is where they have more room. They always have more room. I'm getting ready to walk out the door. He's like, listen, I can bring it in. I'll bring you down to $1,000. How could you do that right now, but you couldn't do that 30 seconds ago? I didn't say that. I was thinking that. I just said, I'm gonna let them sizzle. I'm gonna let them sizzle on it. They are desperate for me. They want me. I don't need them. They need me, right? So I walked, and I felt great about that. And the next day, I let them simmer a little bit. I didn't call them at 8 o'clock when they opened. I called them around noon because I said, I will call you tomorrow. Don't call me. I'll call you if I want to proceed. Good luck. I called them about noon. I let them have a little anxiety in the morning. Like, oh, that guy, man. We were close to sealing the deal. I don't know. Do you think he'll call back? They probably had like a little, running numbers on me. Well, what are the odds? Well, I called him back. I said, okay, man. If you can get me down, I've always said all along, you get me down to 20. That's it. We'll make this happen today. He had to check with his manager. They probably threw a little hissy fit. But ultimately, end of the day, they want to unload. They want to get these units off the lot. Right? So I got the vehicle at the price I wanted. I got fairly compensated for my trade-in. And now I'm driving an automatic. And I hate it. And that's the only downside to this new vehicle. Everything else is pretty nice. It's got some bells and whistles. It's got connectivity. It's got, I don't even know what it is. I don't even know what half the stuff does. It has one of those screens. It's a computer screen. Like I could be up here doing spreadsheets, I guess. I don't know why. Why does all this exist, man? I just want a functional car. It's functioning. It's doing well. I like you. I'm trying to come up with a name for it. I usually name my cars. My last car, I think, was named Charlie. I can't remember. I think I name every car Charlie. I like the name Charlie for a lot of reasons. First, I had an Uncle Charlie. He was a great man. But also, I like Charlie's Angels. I think that's a kind of a cool thing from a throwback from the 70s. And occasionally, I've encountered a female Charlie. And I think that's an incredible name for a woman. So it's like probably 90-10 if you think about like any Charles or Charlies you've met in life. Most likely they're a man. But I bet it's not even 10. I bet it's like 5. I bet it's 3% of all the Charlies are actually women. That's a cool thing. So when I call my car Charlie, it's a little mystique. Is it a girl? Is it a guy? I don't know. Maybe you decide. Maybe you are the one that gets to project that, gender upon that inanimate object. That's an important thing to you. It's not to me. But anyway, that's the thing. So I don't know if I'm going to call this Charlie 2, Charlie 3. I've had multiple Charlies in my life. I'm going to work on that. But listen, folks, I had a great time at OBX Hot Yoga. It's a beautiful studio. It's a wonderful place. I'm going to probably go again this week, so stay tuned for more content. And down here in the OBX, maybe the most important part of the show. Coming up this week, I'm entertaining some of my old high school buddies down here in the OBX. Starting Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're going to go do some cool things. We're going to have a good time. It's a little mini reunion. Class of 93, BUHS, Johann Sebastian Herring Bach, Esquire the Third, Code H, Nate Dogg, all will be in the house. And I'm definitely going to grab some content with these guys. We're going to have a fun time. We're responsible. We're all over 50 now. It's terrifying. I'm sure we're going to have some good times, and I'm looking forward to that. And I'll share some of that on this show. I may do a little riffing with Raff, a little group podcast action over the next week or so. So stay tuned for that. And if I can drag one of them over to a hot yoga studio, I think that would be amazing. I don't think any of them are particularly keen on it. It's one of those things where, like, those guys do things I don't like. They're going to go out fishing and scaling and, scraping up the gills and all that stuff. I'll go hang out and have a beer while they go fishing. It's just not my jam, So maybe they'll come into hot yoga with me. I doubt it. I don't know. You got to have your own individual time when you're with in these settings. It can't just be all about the group mentality. So I'm going to try to maintain a few more hot yoga sessions. And I'll make the podcasts on my ride home from the studio if I do that. And we're going to have a great time. So listen, man, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. And just stay tuned. I have some great content ideas on the horizon for Raff's Brain and beyond. It's an exciting time to be alive. Until next time, namaste, mofos.